It's really important to be together to dedicate this plaque. I'm so glad for those who organized it, and Gail Brooks is going to tell the story about how this came together. But I'm glad that it did come together. There's a book called, and a musical called Is There Life After High School? Any of you read it or saw the musical? But it highlights the point of how influential high school is in our identity and in our life. And you know, I'm a storyteller and therefore I embellish everything. But when I talk about San Carlos, I don't think I have to embellish a lot of the stories because it was great without my embellishment. It was great because of the people who spoke into our lives. And so the connection of place and people is important. If we hadn't been at this place, we wouldn't have connected to those people. So I'm so grateful for those of you who organized this. When I heard about it, it was worth flying down from Portland and being here for this occasion. So to tell us about the story about how the plaque came about and how this day came about, here is 1962's class, Gail Brooks.
Thank you. So I'm going to use the bullhorn because I can't talk as loudly as Bill. I lived here, grew up in San Carlos, and went off to save the world in 1967, became a Vista volunteer.
Louder.
And I went to Connecticut as a Vista volunteer for a year. And I was supposed to stay 1 year, but 43 years later I came back to California in 2009. So when you live in New England, you just go anywhere and you can trip over a historical marker because they've been making history forever. And, you know, the most notable and first is Plymouth Rock, and then there's the statue of Governor Bradford in Massachusetts. And, but my favorite one, thank you, but my favorite one is in the town my son lives in. And it's in a little park, and it's a rock, not quite that big, but taller. And it has set into it a plaque that reads, in honor, this plaque is placed in honor of the first Girl Scout day camp in Connecticut. So it sort of goes from the history we all know right down to the local history. And I came up here the first time about 20 years. I just couldn't face it. I visited a lot. And I came up here the first time maybe 20 years ago, and I just got to the park and burst into tears and turned around and drove down the damn hill. And when I came back, Steve Shillstone, right here, posted on Facebook the bleachers, and there was something left of the school, however modest. And I thought, you know, that's wrong. So I came back up here and I looked around and I walked all over and there was nothing. Somewhere there's a CFW marker to the guys who died in Vietnam, but nothing that said anything about San Carlos High School. And those Girl Scouts got their due, and we deserved our due. So our committee that organized our reunion worked on this. And Carol Lucchese Chiavari and Karen Phillips Middleton and Elise Van Hees Townsend and Diana Ortman just took the bull by the horns and got the plaque done, and we went and picked out a rock, and here we are today. Now there's a lot more to it than that, but I want to acknowledge their hard work, and I want to thank all of you for being here. And I'm going to risk this. I know there's 2 English teachers here, and they're going to let me live in a state of grace when I say that a dream denied is like a raisin in the sun, and it dries up. And our dream of acknowledgement dried up forever. And today we pump life back into it. And thank you for all of you for being here today.